What's your most NSFW school experience? Deleted. In college, I went to cooking school. They bunched my class with another class for a demo to break down a full cow during our butchery course. At one point, the instructor showed us a place where the muscles of the cow opened up and said if any of us ever wanted to be a gynecologist instead of a chef, we should go up and put our fingers in that hole because it felt like a vag. Not a single student stood up. We all just kinda sat there, looking utterly mortified. We didn't get it then. But after working as a butcher's apprentice for 5 years, I know that butchers in general are the most vulgar people you will ever meet, and that instructor was tame. My butcher friend got written up for calling the blood pads in the packaging tampons. So, can confirm. I'm crying. First grade. Thought it was a fart and let it out silently. Couldn't hold it in anymore. Cute kid smelling it and going ooh who farted and laughing. I just kept my head down and continued my work as I shift in my seat. My pants feel squishy. It definitely wasn't a fart. Slowly realizing I couldn't keep sitting in the clothes I just shat in, I directly told the teacher and got help from a custodian to help clean me up. I think that was the most confident I'd ever been in my life. Like, miss, I think I just pooped in my pants. My mom had to come pick me up after, and I have a good laugh about it now. Mayo, you should just rename your username to Shatfiledpants. Take this poor person's upvote lol. Peckhead was white t-shirts. Had a sudden downpour. You can work out the rest. This happened to our class. Also, me and my sister were the ones who got boobs really young. And our parents were the type who blamed us for it instead of, you know, letting us wear bras. So yeah, not a fun time. Also, the pet teacher later got busted for having a huge amount of child porn. So yeah. Wait, what? Blamed you for it? On what ducking basis? Once in 9th or 10th grade, a friend of mine was caught masturbating in the toilet. The problem is, not just him. He was there with 6 boys masturbating. Dank memes moderation meetup. Haha, true. We had a girl who used to go into the last stall in the boys' toilets and duck in exchange for cigarettes. When a bunch of people got her pissed, she got busted, along with 10 or so guys. It was forever known as the smoke for a poke affair. Sucking dick and smoking nick. Bye. Violent cough. My brother put his finger in the classroom door hinges. Yes, it fell off when they closed the door. Freshman year of high school, a senior is walking into the gym and decides to slap the top of the metal door frame. When he pulled his hand down, his class ring got caught, and that's when I learned that degloving your finger was possible. Edit. Typo. A coworker of mine's wedding ring got caught in a shelving post while he drove past it in an order picker. The finger stayed on the post and it pulled the whole tendon out of his arm. Not me personally, but one of my high school teachers caught a couple having sex in the bathroom 2 years in a row. Same teacher, same couple, same bathroom. No, I don't know if it was the same stall. Same hole? Yep, anal. At first I just thought it was my friend going to the bathroom every period, but turns out she was meeting a dude to blow him. Same time. Every day. This went on for weeks. She'd occasionally ask me, hey, is my hair okay? He was pulling it hard to brag, like I was jealous or something. I moved away, didn't see them for like a year, and went to a con with my old friend. She happened to be there. That's when I found out they were caught in the act and got expelled. I literally could not hold in my laughter to be polite. That guy living the dream life. Truly. This girl one time in middle school got caught blowing this guy in the bathroom, so her mom came to the school and beat her with an umbrella right there in the hallway of the school. No prizes for guessing why she was blowing a guy at school. Seems like a loving family. r/loving family. After certain chapter of Mice and Men, our teacher asked if it was right for them to shoot the dog. The girl next to me said, well, it couldn't eat on its own. It couldn't crap on its own. It couldn't walk on its own. I think it was right for them to put it out of its misery. Dude on the other side of the room yells out, my grandpa has the same problems and we don't shoot him in the ducking head. Teacher roared with laughter. time to take grandpa outside and tell him to think about the rabbits. Look at the flowers, Lily. Had a kid not pay attention when lifting weights in high school? Unrack one side. 4 plates one side, 0 on other means it looks like a catapult. Guy to his opposite side took the butt to the jaw and had to have facial reconstructive surgery to repair his upper and lower gums. Reminds me of a girl who went to my dance academy a few years before me. She slipped forward and failed to catch herself with her arms. She face planted on the tile floors and knocked her front teeth into her nasal cavity and had to leave via ambulance. I don't know if she ever returned. On my way to my HS chemistry class, I suddenly had one of the worst gastrointestinal attacks of my life. Literally started sweating, went to the bathroom, almost filled the toilet. Seriously, it was BAAD. Then as I went to flush, the empty click. Nothing. The toilet was pulled, not flush. Poo was literally about 3 inches from overflowing. I naturally did what anyone would do. I rushed to class. Fast forward 1 hour. A kid asked to use the bathroom. He returns with a look of shock and horror and can't even begin to explain to the teacher. I'm just there shaking my head saying, damn, they's ducked up. The look on his face still fills me with laughter. And shame. Mostly shame. You were the shitting spectre. Was a tar during senior year. Teacher happened to be the girls' soccer coach. She asked me to take the uniform she had just washed. It was near the end of the year. To her office. She also mentioned her office was in the girls' locker room. So she told me to make sure no one was in there. I go, pick up the uniforms, and head to her office. Crack open the door and yell, asking if there was anybody in the locker room. No response. Do it again 2 more times. No response each time. Decide it's safe to proceed. After taking 5 steps into the room, I turn my head to the right. And boom. Rooms full of half-naked girls changing packets. You could hear a pin drop for that half second it took anyone to realize what was going on. I ran to the office, dropped the uniforms, and took the closest exit to me. Had to explain to another of the pet teachers what happened. Got let off the hook and told to not go in before checking again. The irony. Did they not hear you or something? That's just it. They did. He missed his chance. A drunk girl once walked into school, topless. IDK why she was drunk this early into the day, but yeah, we all saw it. Not a bad way to start the day with. Happy cake day. Probably just that up to a certain age. I don't remember specifically, but definitely some time before puberty hit. All kids in our class, male and female, shared locker rooms for changing/showering before/after pair/swim classes. Though they did split us up later on. For obvious reasons. And yes, this is perfectly normal in Denmark. Can confirm. This is very true. A guy with Asperger's stood up in his sweatpants and proceeded to mush his boner on the top of a table like he was kneading bread. Me and him have got seriously different types of Asperger's. It definitely seemed like there was quite a bit going on. This actually happened in university. And we didn't really understand why the guy would do stuff like this until his neighbor tried to explain it. I was in middle school at the time. It was beach day and one of the girls in our school must have forgotten to wear a bra or something, and she went in the water with just her shirt and bikini bottoms. Her shirt was nearly completely transparent and we got to see a hot girl's tits. I was this girl at my school camp, haha. I remember in middle school there was this girl in my class sitting next to me on my left, and I happened to notice, while looking in her direction, while she was leaning over to write on her desk, that she wasn't wearing a bra or anything, because I could see up the sleeve of her shirt, and was blessed with discovering the wonderful thing that is side boob. I began my journey as a man that day in class. In 6th grade, there was a guy who always liked to make inappropriate and perverted jokes. One of his usuals was, want to see something big and veiny, and then he'd show us his forearm with his veins outlined in pen. One day in art class, he did the joke again, only this time it was his dick. I cried. The old dickaroo, the classic dickaroo switcheroo. Was in summer school one year and this big jock guy runs into the classroom literally eyes bugging out. Proceeds to tell the teacher and the entire class in a very shaky loud voice, "I just saw so and so ducking in the bathroom downstairs." The poor guy that announced it to the class looked like he just seen a ghost, and rightfully so, because the two people he saw having sex were ugly as sin. The dude who is going at it in the bathroom with the chick was in our math class too. Very awkward silence when he came into the classroom 20 minutes later, followed by a very irate teacher. They were not suspended or expelled. I have no idea how. Trolls in the dungeon. Thought you ought to know. Carrot. Edit. Changed wanted ought. At my old middle school, no longer in use, the boys' locker room was down a spiral metal staircase, with a bathroom at the bottom you had to walk through to enter the locker room. Welp. RP.E. Teacher got caught jerking his meat in that bathroom before a class. And you better ducking believe there were students in that class who never let him live it down. Pet teacher had him all like Paige's squeezer. Absolutely brutal. I was going into the school on the first day of my teaching practicum. It was a vocational school in a rough neighborhood and most of the students were, let's say, behaviorally challenged. As I walked in, 2 police officers were leading a girl out of the school. She was in handcuffs. I mentioned the incident to my associate teacher when I got to her classroom. The teacher laughed and told me the story behind the arrest. It turns out that the girl was giving blowjobs in the back of the school bus for $10 a time. The bus driver had no idea what was happening. The teacher told me the reasons that the administration realized something was happening and questioned one of the boys from the bus. 1. The boy's attendance had greatly improved. 2. The boys' hygiene had improved dramatically and they were suddenly a lot cleaner. I assume the girl demanded this. 3. The girl was wearing better clothes and obviously buying items she previously could not afford. She also said that she thought the whole thing had been blown out of proportion. Something was blown out of proportion, alright. On a hot summer day, during PE, I was sweaty as FCK and thought I'd go to the toilet to wash my face with cold water. When I got there I heard weird clapping noises coming from inside a cabin. Curious as I am, I took a peek over the door, holding myself up by pushing against a wall. I couldn't believe what I saw. 2 straight brothers giving each other repetitive high five celebrating their straight bromance. Edit. With toilet I meant restroom. I don't wash my face in a toilet. In my mother language toilet means both the part you piss in and restroom. Also thanks for all the upvotes. That was unexpected. Made me laugh. I'm happy to have made you laugh. I don't know what I ate that day, but while coming to home from school, on the bus, I couldn't take it anymore, so I shat myself. On the opposite side of my sit, there was a girl trying to flirt with me. I applaud you for continuing to live beyond that day. I was 9, and in America back then. Now I'm 15, and live in the UK for other reasons. Guy dropped dead in PE from sudden adult death syndrome. Was pretty NSFW/NSFL. Shoved. Was he doing anything when he dropped? Was it a heart issue? At the back of my high school was a small woodland area which separated us from a private golf course. Me and my friends, when we were like 13 or 14, used to hide in the trees and wait for golf balls to come toward us, then sneak over and grab them and hide. Then watch the golfers go mad looking for their balls. We found it hilarious and occasionally did this during lunch hour. One day we walk toward the woodlands and immediately get a fright as we see a man laying on the ground. My instincts kick in, and my young mind assumes it's a dead body, until he gets up and sprints off, leaving his half-naked girlfriend laying in the grass on her own. We all stand there in shock as she slowly gets up, dresses and walks away. Her boyfriend is long gone. Then we all burst out laughing and spread the word around school that we found the 2 final elite students plowing in the trees. When I caddied at a gold course, there was one hole where the green was out of sight over a hill. Some guys were hiding in the bush, and when a bull almost hit them, then picked it, ran over, and put it in the hole. They laughed as these guys spent 5 minutes looking all over for the bull. Then one guy says maybe it's in the hole. Hey guys, my bull is in the hole. I hit a hole in one. And nobody believed him. They kept telling him he put it in there himself. I assume to this day, he thinks he got a hole in one, and anytime he tells the story all his friends think he's a cheating liar. Senior trip, one of the chaperones and her husband decided to sneak out to the motel pool for a 1 AM skinny dip. Bad timing. 3 of us were already out there to drink beer and smoke. We saw them coming and hid. It was very dark, but we could easily see the legendary Mrs. Harrison undress and get in the pool. We could only hear what sounded like more than swimming going on. We really liked her and her husband, so we never said a word. I love this. They were keeping you kids out of trouble by hogging the pool and probably got laid. Best chaperoning ever. I never had any sexual NSFW experiences, but my 10-year-old brother was told to go check out Pornhub by a ducking 4th grader. He did, and told mama. He trusts mama more than he trusts his father, and for very good reasons. She said it was okay and to not worry about, since he thought he was a horrible person. BC he's not over 18. He's growing up too goddamn fast. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.